Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Gnarlo here. Say hello to everyone. Gnarlo, good boy. Well, when we wrapped up last time, I was planning on making another episode that evening. As you see, we are still here at Thornhad in the Trollshaws. However, apparently there was a bad storm that took out their data center and caused the servers to crash, all the worlds to crash. I was not able to get back on. It was the game was down that entire afternoon, all of the evening, and a good part of the night last night. So, in return, they have decided until they can get the server stable, because apparently Nimrodale and according to the login message, a couple of others are still having issues as well. I've not had any real server problems so far, but there you go. So the update to Helm's Deep will not be taking place until Wednesday the 20th. So we are going to continue on here. That explains why I was not able to continue on. The games were down. But we are going to continue on now and see if we can finish up Book 4, Chapter 3, The Wisdom of Lord Glorfindel. So in order to do that, we need to travel to Rivendell. So I'm going to take the Middle-earth taxi service to Rivendell. And once again, we will rejoin you whenever we arrive there. And we are coming in to there we go, to the dismount point. If we continue the horse ride, it's going to take you right over there to Elrond's stables, which is fine, but since our business is actually at the last homely house, the fork in the road here is a good place to go ahead and jump off and take the hill down to the last homely house. Now Glorfindel is found just to the right of the house. He usually spends most of his time over there observing the waterfall. So why don't we come on over there and see what, if anything, he's actually going to be able to tell us. He is accounted one of the most wise in Middle-earth, being one of the few elves that are still left whose memory stretches all the way back to the beginning of days in the First Age. Okay. Whoops. Here we have outrun the we're going to hold on a second as we have outrun the server's ability, there we go, to give us terrain and textures. Alright, so here's the last homely house. Cross right over here and hang a left again. We may have spoke to Glorfindel once before. I'm not really sure if we have actually traveled up here to him. Anyway, here in Imladris, this is where he's always at. And as you see, we had that sudden influx of hope here. If you go over, there it is, hope of 15. That is the highest hope that you can get in the game, and from natural causes, and that's from being in the presence of Glorfindel. I think even being around Gandalf only gives you a 10, maybe. So there you go. That shows you the power and the glory of being with a first age elf here. Now you understand why he and Aragorn were able to chase the Black Riders into the Bruinen to their, well, not their doom, but their physical doom after they were chasing Frodo. Because with this kind of elf here, I said a 15 hope being thrown upon you. You can imagine what it's like being shown whenever you're one of the creatures of evil and being shown a first age elf in all of his glory. Alright, let me get this text and then we will have a talk with Glorfindel here. Alright, the wife is texted too, so let's go ahead and talk to Glorfindel now. Book 4, Chapter 3, The Wisdom of Lord Glorfindel.
What do you need?
You are welcome to Imladris, Gnarlo. These are times of trouble, but for now at least the curtain of shadow is held back, and we meet in peace. You bring grievous tidings from Eladan, but they are not entirely unlooked for. I feared that not all of the Nazgul were claimed by the Bruinen. This stray servant of the enemy will leave a mark on the wilderness. He may have already done so, and we can use it to track him. I give you my barrel and ask you to hold it aloft at the ford of Bruinen. Return to me once you have done so, and we will speak further. So we are going to take his gem, the Glorfindel's barrel, and take it down to the ford of Bruinen. If I remember correctly, that's probably the same barrel that he used whenever, you remember at the last, is that it right there? Yes, Glorfindel's barrel. This barrel was given to you by Lord Glorfindel to aid in tracking the missing rider. If you remember correctly, whenever they got to when Strider and the four hobbits got to the last bridge, as they were entering the Troll Shaws, Strider went forward to examine, to be sure there were no ambushes waiting at the bridge, and there in the center of the bridge there was a barrel embedded in the dirt, and he took that as a sign that it was safe to pass that way. And that was probably the one that Glorfindel left at that time. So we are going to mount up again, and we are going to head back to the fords of Bruinen. And when we arrive there, we are going to see what the barrel will tell us. The Nazgul were denied passage across the Bruinen at this crossing. Alright, so let us get out here in the middle of the ford. And see if once again we'll be able to use the actual barrel. You hold the barrel of Glorfindel aloft, and it glows with a pale light. So now we need to bring it back to Glorfindel and let him know. Okay. So it's back up the hill, back into the high moors, and back to Glorfindel, and we will see you then. Oh, I wanted to show you here. I don't think I'd actually been on the horse during the nighttime hours, and as you see, the lantern does light up, and it gets little moths flickering around it. One of the nice little touches that they put on the animation there. As I've said before, this is my absolute favorite horse. So we'll see you when we get back to Glorfindel. And we have returned to Glorfindel, as night is falling ever more in Rivendell. Let us let him know what strange effect his barrel had there at the crossing.
What do you need?
You have returned, Gnarlo. Did you notice any change in the barrel I gave you when you arrived at the ford? The barrel began to glow. That is what I expected. I'm glad it was so, for it shall be our means of locating the Nazgul that remains hidden within the wilderness. The Nine, servants of the enemy and shadows beneath his greater shadow, are creatures of such evil that the land cannot bear their presence. This barrel will glow in places where they have been. It will allow us to follow the missing rider's trail.
Stay a moment.
All right, on to Chapter 4. Regaining the Trail. I do not often travel into the wild, though I will do so when the need is great, as the ranger Aragorn or his small friend Frodo Baggins could tell you. The sons of Elrond are better suited for directing your search for the missing Nazgul. I leave my barrel in your care for the time being, and ask you to return with it to Elendan at his camp of Thorinhad. He will know where you should bring it to follow the traces of the Nazgul. Go with speed and with clarity of vision. The barrel will help you to find the stray servant of the enemy. But what will you do when you find him, I wonder? Okay. So no money, but we did get almost 6,000 experience for having done that, and another 700 with the elves of Rivendell. We have collected Glorfindel's barrel yet again. So now it is back off down to see Eladan back at Thornhad. So I am actually going to probably map over there. Yep. We will use our map to map back to Thornhad, and we will see you whenever we arrive there. Nice to be able to have the milestone skills. Let us run right over here. Let us talk to Eladan once again, who has the flaming ring above his head. There's a cream you can get for that, I think, whenever your ring starts to flame. Regaining the trail.
May Gavanen.
The words of Lord Glorfindel are most wise, and his gift to this barrel brings me hope that we may be able to regain the trail of this missing Nazgul. You have my thanks, Gnarlo. But now I must determine where we are to bring the barrel in order to reveal the Nazgul's location.
Will you lend me your ear?
I have given some thought to our riddle, Gnarlo, and while I do not know if this is the answer, my heart tells me that we must exhaust this course before we are sure it is fruitless. Many caves dot the wilderness of the Trollshaws, home to the creatures that give this place its name. The missing Nazgul suffered some grievous hurt when caught between the fires of Glorfindel and the Ranger Aragorn and the waters of Bruinen, and he must escape to some secluded corner of the wild to regain his strength. I believe he fled to one of the troll caves. I will write down the names and locations of 3 caves, descend into the deepest chamber of each, and hold Glorfindel's barrel aloft. We must learn if the Nazgul hid within one of these caves in order to pick up his trail. Bring allies to these caves, for the trolls that lurk within are dangerous. Here are my notes, Gnarlo. And they are going to give us a shimmering elf stone once again to allow an inspiration buff. Alright, that's if it should actually happen to work. If it doesn't, we'll just see if whether or not that a burglar's luck and skills will allow us to travel down into the deepest chambers again. So we have 3 troll caves to examine. Torogrod, Nurath, and Thingroth. And if we complete this, we will get our choice of Lagris, which is going to be actually a nice upgrade. That will probably replace our Bounders Club. Luthrand, which we cannot use, and Eluil, which is also a nice upgrade. That would be a nice one to replace Aranora's earring with. This is going to be this one is going to be an interesting choice of rewards this time around. But we're not going to have to worry about that at the moment, because that is where we are going to call it an episode. I am going to camp out here by the fire. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. It's been fun to be back on, and I'm looking forward to have another one coming up here, probably recorded later tonight or early in the morning, assuming that all the servers stay up again this time. So we'll see you then, and remember to keep looking forward to the Helm's Deep expansion coming in now on Wednesday. So we will see you then. Bye bye.